I just got to San Francisco. This is my hotel room. Look at the bedding. There's not even a bathroom in here. That's a cupboard. I'm not sure I'm going to survive the night, but I've booked my first theatre trip. I'm going to see Let the Right One In at the Berkeley Repertory or something. It's the RODA Theatre. I've never been there before. I don't really know what type of theatre it is. I basically went on TodayTix. I looked at what was on today. There were 4 things. One of them was like improv stand-up comedy or something. This was the only thing that looked like an actual show. And it's currently 5:30. The show starts at 8. The Uber's going to take about an hour to get there, and it's going to cost about $50 just for the Uber. Jesus Christ, this is absolutely ridiculous. Thankfully, though, they do a discount for under 35s, which is so good. I am smack bang in the middle of the mezzanine. It would normally be, I think, an $80 seat, and I think I got it for $30. There was, however, a ticket processing fee of $9. What is that? That is absolutely insane. But still, I paid it. I wanted to do some theatre while I was in San Fran. I'm going to the Berkeley Rep. Let's go! So I jumped in my Uber, and I've got to say, first impressions of San Francisco driving through it are, this place is so messy and chaotic. Like, look at this car. I then jumped out of my Uber, had a really bad experience. I'll explain that in a sec, but got to the theatre, talked to the staff a little bit, sort of reset myself, and then decided I needed some food, so they recommended a burrito place, which I ran to next. I've had tacos al pastor before. I've never had a burrito al pastor. It is so good, but I am fearful for my life because San Francisco is terrifying. I stepped out of my Uber, and after, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds of being outside, there's a guy that I didn't realize was in like a cubby hole of a doorway, and he's sort of like behind a little nook in it, so I can't fully see him. He starts screaming at me, and like I've seen that sort of thing happen, like a homeless person screaming in the street before, obviously. I've lived in LA for like several months at a time, I know what that's like, but it was right next to me, and he was dropping the F slur and all sorts, and my fight or flight has not turned off since then. So this is going to be a different theatre trip to normal, but thankfully the inside of the venue is really nice, so I've got that going for me at least. Like, all this is just really nice. I've just discovered that in the toilets they have facts. So, of course, had to do a little bit of exploring. I was still a little bit early, so I had some time. Checked out the gift shop. This was really, really cute, really dinky little thing, and they support a bunch of local small businesses, which I thought was really nice. And they also had this really wonderful little kind of mural-style area where they had put up a load of information about different immortal figures and just figures related to the show, I think, and the mythos of the show, the background mythos of the show through history. And I'm a big mythology fan, so I really appreciated that. Then I headed upstairs and I found another more permanent installation with more sort of historical facts about theatre. They also announced that it was mandatory masks on in the theatre still, which is crazy because that's been gone in the West End for months.
Once again, the house is now open, and we invite you to find your seats. The house is now open.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm in D215.
That's the 4th row, the 15th seat in, so
Brilliant.
left center.
Thank you so much. Squeezing past, sorry folks.
All right. Can you get by?
Yes, I can.
Good.
A little bit of a balance, but I got it. Thank you. So it's masks on in the theatre, and this place is so nice. It kind of reminds me of the Littleton at the Nash. It's giving me that kind of vibe, but at the same time, it's just different, and oh my god, the set is so cool. It hasn't even started, and I'm just like, wow, it looks so good. This has got to be the best seat in the house, right? Like, it's just so absurdly good. And it's such a cool view. I'm so ready. So then the show didn't actually begin on time because they do this thing at the start where characters walk through the set but the house lights are still on, and then eventually there's a crescendo in the music after about 5 minutes, and then the house lights go down. I got talking to Brian and Wendy next to me as well. They were really lovely, got to know them a little bit. This is what the set looks like after the show as well. So I'm just getting out now, and I am embarrassed to say I have not hated a piece of theatre this much in so long. I will explain in my full review. That will be a separate video. There'll be a little link in the description or something. Also, there's no program. This is all you get. I'm really surprised about that. But the experience with The audience was terrible as well. Like, the theatre etiquette was in the ground just then. I'm so stunned. I don't really understand if that's something that happens all the time or not. I would certainly hope not. I spoke to the people next to me. They also agreed that it was really bad tonight. People clapping a line where a character says, "I don't think I'm good for you." People laughing at the even tiniest hint of nudity. People just commenting throughout anytime there was tension. People being like, "Oh God," like out loud. What? Bizarre. Just so weird. My seat was double booked as well. A couple came and tried to sit in my seat, and I was like, "I'm so sorry, but this is where my seat is." And the person behind me was tapping their foot through pretty much the entirety of the second act. There was one really intense moment where it looked like a character was going to die, and people just started laughing. Like, what? I think the most damning moment for me was when there was basically this serial killer kind of vibe guy, and so this guy's in hospital, right? He has poured sulfuric acid on his face, so he's got this prosthetic on and he looks really sort of bloodied and horrible, and he's talking to this young girl who's like a vampire or whatever, right? And he's sort of trying to talk to her as if he's wounded, but I'll recreate the scene for you now because it was something along the following lines. "I imagined you as an angel." Bruh. I thought about it a lot in the car ride home, and it was a long car ride. I paid $35 to get home just then because I went a damn long way to go see this show because I wanted to see some San Francisco theatre. The theatre itself was lovely. Really perfectly comfy seats, plenty of space, really great view, really steep rake even in the mezzanine, so you didn't have any issues even if people were leaning forward at the front, which they were. A really wonderful sound environment, really great lighting, no issues with the music being just sort of poor quality as I've had experiences with at some theatres in the US. So the actual RODA theatre at Berkeley Rep gets double thumbs up from me. I hate being negative about theatre. It makes me so sad because all I want to do is talk to the camera here and say I loved it and talk about the things that I thought were great and to big up the people that were involved. And I know full well that everyone here is putting in just as much heart as everyone back in London, in the West End, does every single night for all of their shows. But at the same time, not everything's going to be for everyone, and most of the other folks in the audience seem to think it was okay. So, too many shows in the West End have spoiled my palate. I don't know. Come to San Francisco, feel completely unsafe the entire time being in the street, get warned by everyone here not to walk around because it's just unsafe, not to use public transport, not to roam anywhere beyond the exact sort of safe havens of my hotel or the theatre itself. And then as soon as I even try and do so to get a burrito, I am terrified because there's people yelling at me, and then I go into the theatre and I actually get to sit down and watch the show, and just disappointment. I will try again. I will see another show here. Obviously not tonight, but I will see something else and I will report back on if that was any better. But for now, I'm signing out, man. What a shame.